welcome to episode 0 of Pokemon Through the Years. This is just a rule explaining video. I figured I would make this because there's probably two groups of people watching this. The first group is like, what the frick is Pokemon Through the Years? It sounds interesting, I don't know what it is. And the second group of people has been on this channel for a while and knows what Pokemon Through the Years is, and are probably misinterpreting what I'm going to do. So I'm going to explain it real quickly. In the past, I've done Pokemon Through the Years, which was a racing format where I and a racing partner both raced through generations 1 through 5 of Pokemon, being the first to finish generation 5. None of those attempts I've done at that, and I think I've done 3 or 4, actually have succeeded because scheduling is a bitch and it's just difficult to do such a very long-term project with other people that also have lives. So this version is going to be a solo Pokemon Through the Years, and to make it interesting, I will be doing it as a nuzlocke format, which does mean that potentially I could just not play half the games because I lose nuzlocke in like generation 1, 2, 3, etc. As is pretty much usual at this point on this channel though, all the games will be randomized, meaning that we're going to run into like a lot of dupes clause related things, especially later on in the last couple of generations, because I'm carrying over dupes clause. Anything I capture in any generation will just add to the total dupes clause. Example, if in generation 1 or 2 I capture a Mankey, for instance, and then a Pokemon Black or even a Pokemon Ultra Sun, for fuck's sake, I run into another Mankey, I will not be allowed to capture it again because I've had a Mankey before. And the same goes for the entire evolutionary line, obviously. So if I run into a Primeape, same thing. So I'm going to have to keep a document about which evolutionary lines I have already had and which I won't be allowed to capture anymore. I will, however, be allowed to keep any alive Pokemon at the end of any generation. So if I finish Pokemon Yellow with a full team of Pokemon with like a Pidgeot, a Charizard, a Mewtwo, a Articuno, you name it, I will be allowed to keep all of those Pokemon at the start of Pokemon Crystal. They'll all just be reset to level 5 and their first evolutionary form, because otherwise I would be starting Pokemon Crystal with level 60 Pokemon. So in that way it is possible, and actually my goal that at least one Pokemon, potentially more, but at least one Pokemon I capture in Pokemon Yellow, hopefully even my starter, that would be amazing, makes it all the way to the end of Pokemon Ultra Sun. That would be the absolute goal. Is it going to happen? Most likely not, because there's a lot of things that can just die. Unless I just put it in the box and never use it, that's probably not going to happen, but I'm going to try to make that happen. And obviously, something I just do want to mention, probably doesn't bear mentioning, Shiny Claws will be in effect because there's a very good chance that going through all 7 games back to back to back to back to back to back to back, is that the right amount of backs? I don't know. I will run to at least 1 shiny, potentially more than 1 shiny, because I'm also going to have to do like a shit ton of grinding throughout the entire thing. So Shiny Claws will be in effect. Obviously not in Generation 1 because shinies didn't exist in Generation 1, but it will be in effect throughout the entire series after Generation 1. The most important part though is every generation does need an endpoint for me to move on to the next generation, and while I could just say beating the champion is the endpoint for every single generation, I think we'll make it a little bit more interesting. So in Generation 1 it will be capturing whatever Mewtwo turns into, because it'll be a randomizer, it won't actually be Mewtwo, it could be a Magikarp, in which case that's going to be very easy. It could also be a very difficult Pokemon to capture, so let's hope it's easy for me. Another interesting note there is that I've never actually gone through Cerulean Cave. Yeah, I just never have. So that'll be the first time I actually do that. Generation 2, obviously, beating Red, that also allows me to go through Kanto and capture like a lot of Pokemon in a very short period of time, so that'll be fun. Generation 3 beating Steven, Generation 3 beating, or catching actually, Acreus as a replacement. Again, it'll be randomized, but it'll be level 80. That being said, it'll be the last thing we do in that series, so after that, whatever I catch is going to be reset to level 5 in Generation 5, which will end when we beat Alder. You think, hey, but that's a champion, that's just the normal ending of the game. Actually, no, you can only beat Alder, the champion, in Pokemon Black and White when you rematch the Elite Four. The first time you do the Elite Four, you actually get interrupted, and you have to do the whole battle against Ant and Ghetsis and get the legendary Pokemon and all that kind of good stuff. So we're rematching the Elite Four for that generation. In Generation 6 we're doing Mewtwo again, because Generation 6 doesn't have like any post-game-ish stuff, so it was either just beating the Pokemon League or capturing Mewtwo's replacements. It's going to be Mewtwo. And Generation 7, and with that the whole series is going to end with beating Team Rainbow Rocket, beating every single team leader we've faced throughout the entire series one more time in the epilogue of Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Are we gonna get all the way through there? Honestly, I think if I make it through Generation 2, I'll make it to Generation 7, because at that point I'm so certain that catching everything in Kanto will give me so many backup Pokemon that will just entirely be fine. But that's going to be the rule set, and that is going to be this series. As I said, it's going to be probably a very long-lasting series. I wouldn't be surprised if this series has 200 episodes by the end of it, maybe even more. They're going to be half an hour long on average, so between 20 and like 35 minutes they're going to be about that length. And they're going to go up every other day, just as my Pokemon Nuzlocks are now. If you want to help me out on this gigantic project, it's definitely the biggest project that this channel has ever freaking seen. Like this video, subscribe if you want to like watch it, leave a comment and just like boost this YouTube algorithm like never have before. Share it around with your friends, let people see that this is going to be a fun adventure, and let's just make this happen together. Let's make a gigantic adventure and like something to look back on. Once this is done, we'll have a set of new like lore for this channel. It'll be fantastic. I'm absolutely certain of it. Until the first episode goes up though, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe to this channel if you are hyped for this new project, just as I am. Again, it's going to be huge. It's going to be fantastic. I'll see you all back then. Bye.